up with a whistle, heart beats like a drum. JT's got the fire, and the game's just begun. From the court to the field, every play, every stat. He's chasing the story, no time to look back. It's Sports 5-0, living for the thrill. Every highlight, every moment, every skill. JT's got the passion, the drive, the flame. Bringing the best, putting respect on the name. Late nights editing, early morning grind. He's got the vision, the hustle, the mind. From buzzer beaters to walk-off wins, he's telling the tale where the legend begins. This ain't just content, it's heart, it's soul. JT's mission is to make the game whole. For the fans, for the love, for the roar of the crowd, he's turning up the volume, making sports proud. It's Sports 5-0, living for the thrill. Every highlight, every moment, every skill. JT's got the passion, the drive, the flame. Bringing the best, putting respect on the name. This ain't just content, it's heart, it's soul. JT's mission is to make the game whole. For the fans.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Tape to Tape, Penguins Hockey Talk. Busy times here at Sports 5-0 as we had the Steeler win earlier, shockingly, on the road against Baltimore. Big-time sports week for Sports 5-0 as the NCAA announces their bowls. Pitt will be playing in the Military Bowl against East Carolina. But tonight's all about the Penguins. Another roller coaster type team, but a fun team to watch with the young guys. And I'm going to bring my co-host in for tonight, Darren. Darren, how you doing, man?
Really good, JT. And sorry, I'm sitting in my car and someone's revving their engine by me. But really, really good. Been busy lately, but and I apologize for picking up the car audio. They finally moved away after revving their engine like right in my ear. But really good. Enjoying the Penguins lately. Kind of a stolen win against a really good Tampa team the other night, but hopefully they can keep it going tonight against Dallas. And so far, so good.
Yeah, you talk about Pittsburgh teams getting lucky here as of late. You had the Steeler game today. It looked like Baltimore scored the go-ahead touchdown. I mean, the announcers thought it. I think most people thought it. They took it away. Tampa Bay, same thing. They took the goal away on a hand pass, which they didn't catch it live, but they ended up calling it a hand pass, which saved the game for the Penguins. I don't think John Cooper was real happy, but they have been with the teams, with the games that are in play right now. The Penguins are in pretty good shape in the standings. They have games in hand on everybody.
Yep, they have games in hand. They are, I believe, top 5 in regulation wins in the Eastern Conference as well. I think they might actually be 3rd or 4th. So they've been doing everything you want to see a team do, kind of tiebreaker wise. Again, they're not. I still don't think this is a textbook good hockey team, but they're nowhere near as bad as people thought they were. The East is really weak, so there's the door is open a little bit for them, and so far they've seized it. And we'll see as we go forward. Like I said, they're playing another very good team tonight. If you can beat Dallas after beating Tampa, both on the road, maybe that changes the math a little bit and how good they actually are.
Yeah, Dallas just scored right before we came on. Jamie Benn made it 1-1 after Connor Dewar made it 1-0. Pens were winning 1-0 at the end of one. They're playing. It looks like they're playing tough. They play Penguins play tight. The thing about the Penguins, which is sort of frustrating, is I went to the Maple Leafs game at home. Man, they look terrible. They just didn't play a good game.
Probably the worst game you could have gone to all year. That or the Rangers game at home.
Yeah, it was just a bad game. I mean, they didn't look like they were in position. They looked like they looked like they were a step slow that night. I don't know what it was, but the Maple Leafs just took it to us. I believe it was 7-2, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah, 7-2.
Yeah, they looked terrible, man. It was me and my buddy were like, what's going on? We made it 1-1. I thought we had we were in for a good game. It just wasn't that way. And the Penguins are going to have a bunch of them this year. Don't you agree? Maybe not a bunch, but I'm talking like they're going to have a handful of them kind of games.
Yeah, I mean, they're an older team in general, but they're working in a lot of rookies too. That's a recipe for the occasional night where you're not going to get a bounce. Everything's going to go against you. Your players are going to be tired or they're inexperienced. And occasionally it's just going to get away from them. But I don't think that's going to be the norm.
Yeah, that I was a little let down on that game, but I mean, like I said, I understand where this team is coming from. They're, like you said, they're a mix of old and new, but they're still a new team when it comes to playing together. Other than that, I guess one other big news. Do you think the Penguins just scored again, made it 2-1, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off.
It was that. Was that Letang? And they showed Letang, but I don't think it was Letang. I got to see the end of it. Looks like it's Novak. Is that Novak?
Yeah, I think it was Novak.
Yeah, Novak getting a goal. So 2-1. I mean, they're like I said, the Penguins are one of them teams, man. You don't know what you're going to get on certain nights, but they're going to play hard. I mean, I think that Maple Leaf game might have been one of the few games that they really weren't in that game for majority of the game, which was strange to see this year. But I guess one of the other big news, do you think, in your mind, is Tristan Jarry the man now?
For the time being. Now, here's the thing with the Penguins. You still can't jeopardize the future for the here and now. If someone's, and the rumors are Edmonton really wants them, that if they're willing to overpay and you're not eating a lot of salary, he may get moved. But that's the only situation I see him not being the guy, is if he's moved.
And like you said, the best case scenario too. I mean, we have three goalies who could be in the NHL right now. I mean, you got to say Miroshov is he showed that he could win games for you in the NHL. So you got three goalies. So moving Jarry really isn't detrimental to the team. I mean, he's hot right now, so you're gonna go with the hot hand. But you can see if Edmonton does overpay, you don't think the Penguins will hesitate to get rid of him then?
I don't think Dubas would. Dubas has shown, if nothing else, that he is willing to move and be aggressive. I mean, you saw it last year with them selling off in the way they did. I could very easily see them completely move. Even guys who just scored, like Novak, there are players with value that they could lose, and I really wouldn't stress over it.
Yeah, the Penguins come in today 14-7-5. I mean, it's nothing crazy. If you look at it, like the way I look at it sometimes, it's like 14-12 if you want to put their losses in a total, but you really can't do that though. The way the NHL gives points, but they've won 2 in a row. This road trip they looked phenomenal against Philly. Don't you agree? That game at Philly, it looked like they just took it to them.
That was their most complete game outside of that game 1 against the Rangers to start the year, I think. Like, pretty succinctly.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Pens are just one of them teams, man. Like, you don't know what you're going to get night to night. I mean, they could look flat. They could look good. I mean, what do you think about I sort of like how Dubas or the Penguins themselves called up Bobo for the Flyers game. Do you think that was sending sort of sending a little signal to teams?
Yeah, I think, and here's the thing with Imama. I don't think, I'm knocking stuff over. I don't think Boko Imama is an everyday NHLer, but as a spot guy that you can bring up who's not going to be a huge net negative, I don't hate the move. He plays with an edge, and I'd rather watch him, and I know he has an assist tonight, but I'd rather watch someone like him play over Noel Acciari, who in general just isn't going to give you much.
Mark Proy says he thinks that Jarry is trade bait, but he said he thinks he will choke like he has done in the past. I don't think you can trust him in the playoffs. What do you think of that? Do you think he's a guy that you really can't lay your hand on for lay your hat on because of his injury history? Do Do you agree with that, or do you think, what, if he's a hot hand and you ride him, even in the playoffs if we don't move him?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a very good point. By him, you do have to protect Jari a little bit. You can't just flat out ignore his injury history. And there's guys you need to insulate too. I mean, the Penguins this year, if nothing else, they've proven they're just not going to roll over, so to speak. And that's Jari and net, and that's their general demeanor as a team. And some of that too is guys like Brazeau and Mantha who have a bit of an edge to them too. And Ibama kind of fits that mold. Like I said, I wouldn't want him every day, but he's not a useless player.
And going into the night, they lost Malkin tonight. Malkin's not playing, upper body injury. But Brazeau came back, which is big. It's big for the Penguins. I think Brazeau, the way he started off the season, if you can get him going again, I mean, I think part of that is, him playing with Malkin's line. So, you're not going to get that now with Malkin being out for a little bit. But which Penguins, I know we do this every 2 weeks, which Penguin in the last 2 weeks, is there anybody that's starting to catch your eye? And I think you named one of them. I think it's really starting up his game. I think it's Tommy Novak. I think he's playing a much better game of hockey.
So Novak is very frustrating as a player. But there absolutely is value to his game. He has decent hands. He's in the game. He's engaged, if that makes sense. Pretty much all the time. Now, early in the year, he was missing a lot of open nets. Like Kindle probably should have 2 or 3 more assists than what he does because of Novak kind of fumbling a few plays. But he's a good player. And we're seeing that. And that's, I mean, going into the year, he's a guy I thought they would try and pump his value and flip. That still might happen.
I agree with that. I agree with that too. I think Novak could be one of them guys, like a Wotherspoon. They got some guys that you wouldn't expect it at the beginning of the year to maybe be trade baits, especially if they start to fall out of playoff contention. I think the Penguins do have a lot more players that the league's going to look at than we might have thought going into the season. Before we go on, by the way, tonight's podcast is brought to you by Lucky 13's Bar and Grill. Lucky 13's is on Prospect Road. Looking for a great place to hang out, eat dinner, play pool, darts, sing some karaoke. They got karaoke every Friday night. Come to Lucky 13's, located at 1724 Prospect Road. Always fun. It's a great atmosphere there. And also, sticking on the Lucky 13's tangent, is the fact that the draft party for Sports 5 will be Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, of course, as we're already getting real close to 2026, which is unfathomable to me as the years just fly by off the calendar. But that'll be April 23rd. Great time, people. We're still locking down what exactly going to be there. There's going to be some signed helmets, maybe some jerseys. There's going to be some baskets from the advertisers, sponsors. So it's going to be a fun night to come out. Even if you're not a football fan, I'm going to have some Pirate Talk, Penguin Talk. It's going to be a big Pittsburgh night. So come out to Lucky 13's, a great sponsor for us. Great food, by the way, too. One of the best menus I've seen in a Pittsburgh bar, honestly, for just a regular bar. They have great food and that. Darren, looking at this Penguins team right now, they're sitting behind, and it's hard to say they're really sitting behind because, like we talked about, Capitals already played 29 games coming into today. The Penguins only played 26, so they're 4 points behind. But you got to look at 3 games at hand. That could be a possible 6 points if they just jump up over them. So that's why I sort of look at stuff sometimes. You look at the points in the games they haven't played. I know you can't say they're going to win all, get all the points that they are behind, but they are. I know it's early, but they're looking like they're in good shape. They haven't played the big chunk of games yet. They're going to be doing that soon, where they play a bunch of back-to-backs, especially with the Olympics coming up. So the Penguins will catch up soon. Do you think this team's made for back-to-backs?
Not really, because of the importance of guys like Crosby and Mull. Just not something you see all the time, especially in juniors. So I don't think they're built for it, but they've been weird so far. They've been winning, it feels like, more on the second game of back-to-backs this year. Maybe that's confirmation bias, but it just feels they should not succeed in that situation, especially with all the overtime they've played.
If Artur Silov starts to struggle a long term, if he starts to struggle game in and game out when he does get to play as a backup, can you see the Penguins making a move where they bring up Miroshov and basically, try to deal Silovs, or just make a move to get rid of Silovs and bring, just keep Miroshov as the backup?
I could see them frankly doing either. I think ultimately what happens is Tristan Jarry is not long for this team beyond this year. That would be my assumption, and that you're gonna get a tandem of Miroshevs and Shilovs after the Jarry trade happens. And it seems like Edmonton in particular is the team that is very interested. And that would be the one spot I could see it, is him moving to Edmonton or somebody else that's desperate for a goalie. And I think the way this is all going to boil down at the end is we are going to be having a tandem of Miroshev and Silovs. Who's number one is up for anybody's guess at this point.
And you are right. I mean, Edmonton's struggling. They're 13, 11, and 5. They've given up 102 goals, which is looking at it, it's like second. It looks like it's second worst in the Western Conference, only behind the Canucks goals given up wise. So, what do you hold out for with Edmonton? You looking for prospects, a high draft pick? I mean, what do you think the Penguins want?
So they do not have a first-round pick this year. It'd be a pick for 2027. And I think that's fine with it, because I think Edmonton's going to continue to regress. I apologize. I lost my train of thought there. I could see Edmonton very easily continuing to regress. So maybe there is value in that. But ultimately, they just don't have a ton. But I guess the value in Jarry is you're making space for your Miroshev, and anything else is a bonus. And if you're not eating a ton of the salary. So, I mean, maybe they move off someone like an Isaac Howard, who they thought would fit in there initially, and he hasn't. And then you're talking about a first next year, or even a second. Jarry is a weird player in that anything that they get is going to be very valuable, because it's just him not being on the roster anymore. No shade to him, but that's just the way it's going to be looked at.
Yeah, with the money, I mean, especially if we can deal him. I mean, the chances of dealing him without having to pay any of the money is going to be slim. Don't you agree with that? I mean, for a team to take on everything is going to probably cut down what the Penguins take back in return, right?
I do. I genuinely do. It's just that there's so much value in just making room for the young guys. And that's kind of looping back to Novak. That's why I think maybe he gets moved at some point, because you're going to give guys like McGroarty, like the Tanner Howells, the Avery Hayes of the world, who are going to be up here sooner rather than later. So I think people need to make peace with the fact that even if they are in a playoff spot, they may not be behaving like a consistent or normal buyer would be in that same position.
And you're a guy that looks at you really do watch when young guys come up. What's their style of play? You like the Corsi, the different stats that a lot of people don't see. What do you think of Rucker McGroarty? What do you think he has? What do you think his potential is as a hockey player?
I think McGroarty is going to end up being a high-end second-line forward that you could maybe play up the lineup a little bit, a la Chris Kunitz or Patrick Hornquist. Where is he your prototypical first-line player? Probably not. But is he going to be good enough to play there from time to time and be a very, very productive top six forward? Absolutely. That's kind of where I peg him. He reminds me a lot of Kunitz if he was a better passer, in all honesty.
And Mark Perot, he's not a big Kevin Hayes fan. He said Kevin Hayes is a bum, by the way. I don't know what you think of that.
I think that's a bit harsh, but he's a guy that I don't think there's a space for on this team.
He scored some goals every once in a while. Surprised me. He had a goal. I think he had a goal against Philly, actually. A nice goal towards the end of the game against Philly, like it was like a mini breakaway, if I ain't mistaken. I might get my games mixed up, but I'm almost positive. I remember saying out loud, like, "Oh, he beat the Flyers. That's a nice one for him because of the Flyer connection." I only got to see one game from him, and I was sort of disappointed they only gave him one game. He didn't play much in the game, but were you excited to see Tristan Broz get called up?
I wish we would have gotten more of him.
That's what I thought too. I was hoping he would stay a little bit longer term, just to, see what he had. I mean, he didn't give him much ice time on that game either, which you don't expect too much. But it'd been nice to see him. Where do you think he propels in the future? Like, where do you think his ceiling is?
I think he's going to be a third line forward, like a high end third line forward. But I think he's going to be a third line forward. Excuse me.
Yeah, Mark's continuing with the Kevin Hayes. He said that he's only played with Sid and Gina. He's played with Sid and Gina, and he only has 2 goals. I get it. I get the frustration some guys, people have in some guys, but I mean, I think some guys play better than their goal total. You agree with that, right? I think Ville Koivunen has been a better player than a 1-goal guy in 24 games. I think he's
absolutely. And Koivunen's a guy where I think he's going to get better as we go. He had some chances. Now, he's never going to be a high-end goal scorer. I think he is going to be a, float around 20 goals. The value of Koivunen is he is excellent at transitioning the puck up the ice, and he's a great in-zone, in-tight passer. That's something he absolutely excels at, especially coming off the half wall. So I think Koivunen's a guy you make peace with his goal scoring maybe not being great, but he's going to be a plus player on whatever line he's on. He may not be the engine of the line, but I think he's going to be a very good complementary player.
How heavy was that weight lifted off his back when he scored that goal, do you think? that was crazy. It felt so good.
The way he celebrated, I genuinely thought he was going to explode out of his skates.
That's got to be the best feeling in the world. I mean, you never want to be that guy that gets 0 goals in 50 games or whatever. You see it every once in a while. You see it with veterans sometimes. I mean, I can't remember who the veteran was a couple years ago that had it was actually from a different team. Was it like Jason Zucker? It was some. It wasn't Zucker, but there was a veteran player for somebody that had 0 goals in the first 52 games. I remember it was that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. Just knowing you're not putting the puck in the net.
Oh, for sure. And like you said, his whole game isn't predicated on that, but he's going to score more. He was shooting astronomically low. He was getting in the shooting positions. He was doing the things you want to see a young player do and then build off of. Now it's just, does he continue to build off of it? That's kind of where we're sitting now.
I agree. And Darren, Mark continued with Hayes. He said he agrees that Hayes helps in other ways, but when we are totally healthy, he should be sitting up in the press box. I sort of see that. I can see, like you said, you've already stated you don't think there's really a spot on the team whenever we're totally at health, and that's with if Raquel comes back and a couple of the other guys that are missing, that would
that's
the tougher spot for Hayes to play.
That's the thing too, is you're going to get Raquel back, which means Hayes, Brazeau, and Novak and Mantha. Those are all players who are not going to be on this team after this season. That's where you maybe look at flipping or moving 1 or 2 of them, because you do have guys like McGroarty, like Kindle, like Koivunen, like Howe, like Hayes. Even if you want to give Poulin or Puustinen another look, there are guys that you're gonna see called up at some point and give them a shot. The going forward, it's going to be how can they build out their D core, because Pickering and Brunick, I think, are going to be NHLers, but the ceiling might not be as high as we initially thought, especially for Brunick. But yeah, a lot of these guys, as good of years as some of them are having, fans need to be ready for the day they're flipped, because it's not about right now. It's about 2 or 3 years from now, whenever we're looking at it broad scope.
Do you think, do you think it's, I don't know how to use the right word here. You don't think it's right, do you, to say that Brunick is a bust just from a couple, just from...
No, absolutely not. I think Brunick is going to be a very quality NHL defenseman, and he might look as good as he did his rookie year, his first year after the draft, where he looked like he almost made the team out of camp. He might get back to that. I'm not saying it's not possible. I think the team put an impossible workload on a 19-year-old kid when Letang came out of the gate as poorly as he did. So you had to rely on Brunick to eat these minutes, and then you're throwing him out there with Matt Dumba, which is kind of sinking the whole pairing, or Connor Clifton, which kind of sinks that pairing for him.
Nah. What do you think of this comment by Mark? He said McGroarty reminds him a little bit of Eric Tangradi, but with a little bit more talent.
I think that's fair, because Tangradi was a big net front guy. McGroarty is a rugged net front guy, which is why I was comparing him to Kunitz a little bit, and with a little bit better passing hands. But that's not an out there comparison at all.
And we'll never know what the real. I got to interview Tangradi a couple years ago. We'll never know the real Tangradi as he got hurt. He got that nasty injury early in his career and basically never was the same. That was sad to say because I actually really enjoyed. I actually thought it was a great trade. We made that trade with Anaheim when it first happened to get Tangradi, but that's a story for another day. I liked the move at first, but it just never panned out. He took that nasty hit by Richard Pilon, and it never came. He never was the same after that.
No, I agree, and that's just the way this sport goes. I mean, you saw it with guys like David Booth and Nathan Horton, like guys that play that way in and around the net. Sometimes it comes back to bite you, and sometimes it tragically.
How do you deal with players on your team? You're a Penguin guy, like Brian Russ, for example, always seems to go down with injury. Is this something that you just got to stick with and hope that it goes away eventually? I mean, we went through that a couple years with Crosby, being honest. I mean, if we want to think about it, there was a couple years in Crosby's career we didn't know if he'd ever be healthy. I mean, he was going through the concussions, of course, and
for sure.
It's a tough thing when guys get hurt all the time. You try to tell people like it ain't that you're injury prone, so to speak. It's just a lot of times just bad luck, man. Bad luck.
This is a tough sport. You're playing on a surface with reduced friction, moving at high speeds, while people shoot vulcanized rubber 100 miles an hour. Sometimes you're just not going to be lucky with that. Sometimes you're the one who takes a puck to the jaw. Sometimes you're a guy who two dudes are skating at full speed, not looking at each other, and you collide. And all of a sudden you break a rib, get a concussion, whatever it happens to be. That's just the nature of the beast with NHL hockey. It's unavoidable. And you mentioned Russ specifically. He likes to drive the net, and he's not a very big guy. Sometimes that's going to come with consequences.
Yeah, I guess sometimes people try to call. I guess one guy that played that same style that didn't get hurt as much, but like I said, it's luck. Is it Hornquist that didn't seem to ever really get hurt as much as like Russ? But that's just luck of the draw sometimes, right? I mean, we've all played sports, and there's certain guys that don't even play hard; they get hurt all the time. There's certain guys that play balls to the wall and they get hurt all the time. It's just strange.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of saw it too, like Nolan Patrick, a very high-end draft pick. Once you get one concussion, it's kind of a chain reaction. Wasn't really anything he did. Wasn't his style of play. It was just bad luck. That's just a them's the breaks kind of situation.
Hey, before we get going, we're going to go right into it's coming up, I guess, in February, right? The Olympics, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be February. What are you looking forward to most? Do you think Team USA and Team Canada are going to be the two teams again, like they always are, or do you think
they are? I think Team Czech Republic is going to be better than people realize, and I think Team Sweden is going to be better than people realize. But ultimately, I think it is going to be USA, Canada, because there is no third-party Russia involved, who have incredible goaltending, which would make them dangerous if they were in the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. You ain't kidding. It seems like Russia right now is the it's weird how the cycle goes, but the goalies seem like they are coming out of Russia right now, including us with Miroshov and Vasilevsky and
Sorokin.
Sorokin and the kid from Shesterkin.
If we were just going by who was playing the best, Sorokin probably would be the Russian starter. Now, they'd probably defer to Shesterkin because it's a bigger body of work. But, I mean, they'd have no shortage. And Andrei Vasilevsky is what, your third?
Yeah, that's crazy. It's just crazy how the Russians have seemed to have taken over that goalie position, man.
Team USA is good, too, though. You have Hellebuck. You have Demko when he's healthy, and you have Ottinger. So they also have a very nasty 1-2-3. It's really Canada, all of a sudden, who is strong for years with Waugh and Brodeur and Luongo and Price, and even Fleury is a depth guy. I mean, they were always loaded at the role, and now they've just they can't develop a goalie anymore. And then the only one they have developed is Carter Hart, who has his own list of problematic things off the ice to where they probably wouldn't include him.
Yeah, I think he just got his first win the other night with Vegas, if I'm mistaken. Shootout.
He did get the win.
Yes, I mean that's a strange thing too. These guys are all, I guess, for the majority of them, they're starting to get signed. The guys from the Canadian scandal with the sexual assault. So I guess they're all sort of coming back in the league slowly.
Foot was signed.
Yeah, he was signed like a minor league deal. So I guess these guys are coming back slowly.
I believe.
I mean, Carter Hart he's still young enough to be a potential number one goalie. Do you agree with that? I mean, he's still young enough that he could still find this again.
Maybe beyond the off ice behavior, my issue with Carter Hart for a long time was that he overcommits on everything laterally and he kicks out a lot of rebounds. And Sidney Crosby, in particular, tortured him down low behind the net very often for the Penguins, where you'd have someone crashing the net, Sid would rotate low to high, feed the puck back door because Hart would overcommit, or he'd let the pass ricochet off his pads. To me, I don't think there is a single one elite high-end Canadian goalie right now, Hart or otherwise. Bennington's fallen off a cliff, and he seems just to be an unpleasant dude to be around in general, so I don't think he's the answer. I mean, I don't think Canada has an answer in net. I think they're going to hope that their overwhelming talent just smothers teams, which it might. I mean, they could field a team that should win the gold medal and another team that might make the medal round as a backup.
No, you're right, man. They could probably put 5-6 lines out there that would, their 5, 6, and 7 lines would be right in the same area as some of these teams, first 3 lines. So I get that.
Would be better than every non-USA team, I think.
I agree with that, man. There's just Canada just loaded. I mean, then they're like, of course, if USA does get knocked out, you got to root for Canada because of Sid.
I'd root for Sid. I wouldn't mind seeing Erik Karlsson finally win some hardware, though. Like as a Team Sweden captain or an alternate captain, which he probably will be, and he's been good this year. And he wasted so much time on a very badly run Ottawa organization. I kind of want to see Karlsson get something. Like, I mean, he has his Norris trophies. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I'd like to see him get something memorable was in the way of a team accomplishment. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And by the way, this is how bad this world's coming to that. My 53-year-old friend Mark just heard me say 6'7", and he said 6'7" on which I don't get it. That's one thing I don't get. But I'm not going to put the kids down because I did some crazy stuff as a teenager as well. So I don't think 6'7" might not even be as bad as some of the stuff we used to do. So I'll give that to you, Mark. You got me with the 6'7", man. 6'7". But once again, everybody, Lucky 13s, great place to hang out. You ever been there, Darren?
I have, actually.
Great little place, man. Great little bars. It's a little bit bigger than people think. If you look from the outside, it's a little bit bigger in there than what you expect. We're going to have the draft party there. And the draft party is going to have 75 people, private party, a seat for everybody that signs in, gets in. It's going to be a nice time. It's a great place, great food, wings. They have they have above average wraps and quesadillas and pizza. They have a little bit of everything. So everybody, if you get a chance, come out to Lucky 13s for the draft. Like I said, I'm gonna have guys like Darren up there talking about hockey. I'm gonna have Kevin Gorman hopefully come out for the Pirates. Pirates are on the road that day in Texas, so there'll be no one here in Pittsburgh will have to be covering the Pirates at home. So it'll be a good fun night. Darren, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I mean, Penguins are fun, man. Like I said, the game's in hand. Maybe they'll start catching up to this maybe in 2 weeks from now. I think they have a lot of games coming up here. So,
oh, yeah. And I mean, if they would win tonight and beat Tampa, that's 4 points you don't expect them to get. So you look at that and you bank them and you just keep it rolling.
And you think that Toronto game was just an aberration. There's no reason to think that Toronto is a better team than Pittsburgh, right?
No, I think the Leafs are a worse team than the Penguins this year, despite them being 0-2 against them. I genuinely do. Now, to keep it brief, I don't think outside of Tampa right now, there's a singularly great team in the Eastern Conference. So that's kind of because Carolina has kind of tailed off a little bit. Washington has surged, but we saw this last year that Washington was kind of an empty calorie 1 seed division winner. So, I mean, the space is there for the Penguins to take it if they want to.
I agree. And everybody out there, watch your Penguins, man. Get out to a game. It was fun going out there to a game. They're not selling out. I think the Toronto game might have been close to a sell because Toronto travels as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And if you don't believe me, go to a Penguin Maple Leaf game. You'll see it for yourself. And one last quick story. You'll laugh at this, Darren. I'm in the bathroom. Game's about to start. Maybe like 5 minutes before the game, I'm taking a leak in the men's room. And some old drunk Penguin fan goes, "They haven't won a cup since '67." And guess what? All the kids in the bathroom started screaming 6-7 and jumping up and down. I was like, that's actually pretty funny, just because I can see the Maple Leaf fans just shaking their heads. So I thought it was funny. the 1967 chance. So I guess 6'7" could come in handy every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
thanks for having me on, JT. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for your time, and I know you're a busy man. Thank you for putting up some time with me tonight. And guys, check us out, www.sportsbible.com. Check out the YouTube. We're up to 100 now, 100 followers on YouTube, so keep that going. Once we get to 500, we got a Heinz Ward jersey autograph that's gonna get. I gotta start pushing that harder. But Darren, thank you so much, man.
Oh, of course, JT. Have a good one.